Good good afternoon. Well, I don't know what time you're listening to this, but good whatever daytime you're in. And sorry for the delay on the uploading of the podcast. I had a weird fucked up schedule, but we are back with another episode of Bed Bunk Theory.
You did that so backwards and wrong.
I know. I'm
Bunk
tired, dude.
bunk buddy theories. I know it's
But
weird, right? It's like
yeah,
we're not
I'm fucking tired, dude.
like we're not recording at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm usually dead tired and it's only like
Yeah.
midnight your time. But now it's like we're recording at like 4 in the afternoon and you're dead tired because
And
you
we're
just woke up from working the night shift.
Yeah, you know, if I sound a little off, yeah, that's the main reason. That and cocaine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't do coke anymore. Fuck that.
White
So,
lines.
vivid dreams of passion.
Exactly.
No, man, dude, don't ever fucking sing that song in front of me because I'll sing the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Don't. I don't feel like it. It's what time is it? My time. 1:24. Jesus Christ. All right. So today's podcast, by the way, oh man, I don't even know if I should tell you who we're sponsored by because this is a big deal. This is a big fucking deal.
Big money contracts, big money advertising.
Yeah, so check it out, man. Today we're sponsored by the Vatican. You know, you know, like the motto says, bring your kids over. We'll take care of them.
Oh my god.
No, that's no joke, by the way. I take that shit very serious. I'm a father of two, and I know how that shit's fucking cringy, but the show must go on. Not in the sense
Never.
that kids need to be touched, but
Uh,
actually, you know what they do? Somebody should do something about that shit. You know who?
um.
You know who should take him down?
Who?
Alex Jones. Alex
Yeah.
Jones needs to go in there and take care of
He's a
business.
one man wrecking ball.
Yeah, he is, man. You ever seen that video of him chasing that fucking hipster in New York?
No.
Oh man, you gotta look it up, man. That shit's fucking hilarious. Oh man. So what's up with you, man? I haven't I haven't really been online that much, so I don't know what the new deal is.
I don't know. I've been doing all right. I just been cleaning up the house and I had to like snake the tub because it's like full of water and that actually worked. I was super surprised and I don't know. Other
Then
than
you had
that,
a
I haven't
clogged
really been
drink.
doing. Yeah. Haven't really been doing
Th-
much.
weren't you telling me you fought a fucking crackhead?
Oh no, he was a heroin addict.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it was kind of bad,
Damn.
but it was all right. I'm not hurt. He's not hurt. It was just one of those
I mean,
things where it's sad because like I've had to listen to people who were like addicted before, but it's like I know it because like through the church, like I like
oh
had to
yeah.
had to deal with a lot of weird crackheads and stuff because of our church. So it's like everything he said was like he's like I might be addicted to heroin right now, but I'm at least I'm gonna go get some help. Whereas everybody else here is addicted to everything else, and they're not wanting to get help, and that's why I'm the best person for this job. I'm
Oh
like,
man,
oh
trying to fucking blame everybody else on the spot.
yeah,
That's like the normal like mindset of somebody who's addicted to shit like or chemical based, drugs, crack, heroin, fucking, angel dust, fucking cocaine, like shit like that. Because I can tell you, like from experience, dude, I was super fucking addicted to cocaine, growing like since since high school, since fucking high school. That's how easy it was for me to get cocaine, you
yeah,
know. And the day I stopped is the day fucking my wife back then, my girlfriend, she was like, hey, like, what are you up to? Do you want to go out? This and that. Because at first she fucking friend zoned me because I was crazy. And I was on the out, not on the outs with her, but like it was kind of weird. Like, dude, she didn't want to hook up with me the first time because I'm a fucking idiot. Like, there's maybe there's hope, but there's not. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I dated and all that shit, but out of all that, like one of the reasons why she didn't want to hook up with me from the beginning is because of my addiction.
Huh.
She knew because I didn't tell anybody. I just kept it to myself, but she knew that that was like the drug of choice. So, and she didn't want that around the kid. So I was just like, you know what? Understandable. But here I am, married to the woman I waited for 4 fucking years, thanks to cocaine.
I don't know. I can't imagine people doing cocaine nowadays. It's such a weird
Yeah,
like
it's almost like a like
1980s like rock star celebrity drug. Like people just walking around and patting themselves down with cocaine and then sniffing it off their hands, and it's just I don't know.
yeah,
Just
because you got all these other fucking drugs that are like 10 times more lethal, and people are jumping onto that ship now. But yeah, I can't. I know maybe one or two people that still kind of fuck with it, but other than that, that's like an old relic drug, is what I call it.
is it more like price? Like is it like pricey? That's why no one really does it anymore. Or
Well, well, it's not that I don't think it's the price. You see, I don't know how the that criminal mindset works, but I know for a fact that cocaine is used as a base for other drugs. You know what I mean? Like crack.
yeah,
It's used for crack and for other shit. Like so, it still sells. Like that's one of the leading drugs that is either shipped from Central America or South America or fucking Mexico, for example. Like, dude, I know they fucking ship it over here. Like that. Like I know marijuana is one of the big ones for them in Mexico, but cocaine is like one of the biggest ones because without cocaine, you can't make a lot of this other shit. From what I've learned over the years of
yeah. But like I'm saying, though,
experience.
like you hear more people about smoking crack or crystal meth or
Yeah,
whatever.
or
But
or fucking Flocka or shit like that.
yeah,
But cocaine itself, nah, I don't
I
see.
I
Really
think it's
hear.
also like a different high too, maybe because like I've seen people do cocaine and it's like they're more erratic, but they're still like okay. They're not like going to kill themselves. Whereas I've seen
Ye-
someone smoke crack and then instantly start like kind of gouging their eyes out and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Coke, it's more of like let's say like cocaine is like Red Bull. It's like an energy drink,
Okay.
pretty much. Now, when you jump into like other drugs like speed is like drinking four locos and a fucking Red Bull on top of that. Like speed, you're fucking Hulk smash. You'll be going through walls with that shit. So yeah, there's different different strokes I guess for different folks on that in that fucking area, but yeah, Coke is more of like a little upper, kind of like to get you through the party without falling asleep,
Right.
kind of thing. Versus speed, you just want to fucking race a cop car on foot on the 405 freeway.
Yeah.
that's that's your logic on that shit. I've never done it, but I've seen people do that shit, and it's crazy. I think I can technically say I smoked crack, kind of. Well, not kind of. I did, but I was tricked into doing it. You ever heard of those what do they call them, P dogs?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So somebody fucking some little gangbang. I was like 16. And I went to this fucking party, and this fucking gangbanger comes up, and we knew him. He was kind of like you know, the village idiot of the school. And he comes up and says, "Hey, homie, what up, dog? I got a nice little P dog for you, dog." And I never heard of that shit. Like I always smoked, chronic, skunk weed, like the cheap shit. And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" He's like, "It's a P dog, homie. It's like the best shit you're ever gonna fucking smoke, dog." And I smelled it, and I was like, "Oh, it smells like fucking like good chronic. Like it smelled really good." And I said, "All right, let me take a fucking drag." So I took a big fucking rip of that joint, and I was like, "Damn, I feel fucking weird. Like this is like a different. Like what kind of weed is this?" He goes, "Oh, hey fool, it's purple haze, dog, and crack."
It's like
And
just little sprinkles of crack on top of it.
yeah, so I looked at him and I go, what?" He goes, "Yeah, homie, there's some crack in that shit. That shit good as hell, homie." And I'm like, I said, "Dude, I don't fucking smoke crack." And he's like, "Well, you do now, homie." And fucking, he just fucking gave me crack. I just smoked crack for the first time, and it was the worst fucking experience, dude. It was the first and the last time I ever smoked fucking crack. So
That's the thing too,
fuck
though.
that.
Like crack, you smoke crack and you're like instantly addicted to it, right? Whereas like cocaine, I kind of feel like some people just used it just to as a mood enhancer, and that was about
Yeah,
it, you know. Like
yeah,
I know
and
Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character, but you know the guy who wrote it, Sir Arthur, whatever, you
uh-huh.
know, is like that was the drug of choice of people. Back then, it wasn't really a drug. It was just like
No, it was more like a like an energy drink back then.
yeah. So
You know.
you go have dinner, you eat, and you're like falling asleep, and you just kind of go, you know, just up your nose a little bit, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to keep going, and let's keep talking and stuff, and I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I don't.
It's,
I mean, maybe it does is addictive. I don't know 100% about it, but I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't seem like it's as addictive as I know like crack and like cocaine or crystal meth and shit. Where it's like the first time you smoke it, you're instantly addicted to it.
Yeah, you see, I don't know. Like I was very fortunate that I mean I was more addicted to Coke because like I needed it. I needed to wake up in the morning. I needed to go to work. You know, boom, boom, boom. You know, yada yada. I used it to wake the fuck up. But I'm kind of like, dude, when I smoked that fucking P dog, dude, I was like thinking the following day, I'm like, fuck, dude, I wonder if I'm gonna be smoking this shit from now on. Because I've always heard the same concept, like, oh, once you smoke crack, you don't go back. Like, no, but dude, I'm fucking glad. You know, knock on wood, never got addicted to that shit. I
Yeah,
only stuck with Coke, and then after that, I just kind of like teared off. Once I hooked up with my wife, I just stopped. I stopped doing that shit. You see, like I had a cousin who passed away over heroin overdose.
hmm.
So that's why like I always tell my kid, man, I always tell my kid like don't be fucking around with that shit. Look at what happened to your uncle, dude. You know, it's some fucked up shit, man. It's some fucked
Yeah,
up shit. And I don't want to get in like, oh, the government funds it too, but that whole fucking spiel.
yeah,
Fucking Pablo Escobar made that shit popular in the fucking 80s and 90s.
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
man. And you know what I was telling? Oh, my bad, dude. What did you say? Sorry.
oh, I wasn't gonna say that. I was just saying, yeah. But I mean, like, this guy. It was funny because the heroin addict guy, he was like, oh, there's a stigma about heroin, but it's not as bad as everything else, blah blah. And I'm like, it wasn't even really about the heroin use. It was the fact that he was just being fucking insane. And
Yeah.
it's like we have like video footage of him being crazy, and then the weird part was that no one like wanted to tell us about it because he kept telling them he was gonna get help.
Oh.
And then when we were there, I'm like, he was like sweating, and he like was just like
Oh, man.
ranting about stuff. And at one point, I told him, dude, you need to just like I don't want to fucking talk to you anymore. You need to go sit in your room, lay down, do whatever, because you look like you're gonna pass out. And he was like, "Oh, you gonna try something?" I was like, "What? What are you gonna? You said you're gonna knock me out." I said, "No, man. I don't think I have to. But if I will, I will. But you look like you're just gonna pass out, and I'm afraid you're gonna like hit your head, or you're gonna just like stop breathing all of a sudden." Because he would keep talking, he wouldn't stop talking, and then he had to like breathe so hard his mouth was open, like really weird, and then like I don't know, it was just such a weird deal to like with this guy, and then I don't know, it was just a sad deal, and we just had to like kick him out, you know. It's just and it wasn't anything except that like we were just afraid he was gonna like do something to the other people in the house.
Huh. Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy, man. Like over here where I stay at, I fucking made sure that I was a part of the fucking process of finding tenants for the units
Mm-hmm.
because out here where I live at, like I don't know if I ever mentioned it, like my street, but you've been here too. You've seen how it looks. Like
Yeah.
my street is the borderline between Van Nuys and Sherman Oaks. So my street is like the front line of like rich, well-off people and fucking crazy crackhead bum gangbanger neighborhoods. Like it's weird, dude. It's weird. My street is like a mix of both. There's like nice houses, but then there's also fucking crackheads that live on my street too. But then the next block over, there ain't shit. It's a bunch of just well-off people, nice houses. So
Hmm.
yeah, dude, it's a fucking trip. It's a fucking trip. I'm glad I never went, you know, beyond the fucking, the drugs like that. But yeah, like Like, I had a few tendons, dude. I had a few tendons that I like, or potential tendons, but then I would find out, oh yeah, they got like fucking 8 kids moving in with them, and I said, nope, can't have that, and it sucks, it sucks, but they're like, we're trying like not, I guess, oh man, it sounds like I'm profiling, but I'm not, because you got
Yeah.
to understand, like, this lady was nice. She had 2 kids with her when we first met her, and I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, she may be a potential attendant, and I kept looking at my dad's partner. I'm like, yeah, that may happen. That may happen with her. Her credit score's good and she's responsible. But then she came back again to show her husband the apartment. But then we looked at the fucking van, and there was a shit ton of kids in there. And I told my dad's partner, hey, ask her how many people are going to be moving in with her. Because she made it look like the first time it was only gonna be like her husband, and the 2 kids. Nah, she has 8 fucking kids.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's not gonna work out. So we never called her back. Like, it's like, we'll see what happens. And we just never called her back. Kind of douchey, but yeah, I'm not having 8 fucking kids live upstairs from me. Fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but get a house. At that point, rent a house.
Yeah, because
you
you guys
know,
own like 2 bedroom apartments, right?
Yeah, they're 2 bedroom apartments.
Yeah.
A decent sized kitchen, a decent sized living room. Master bedroom's pretty good size, and then the kids' room is a standard size. But one bathroom, 2 bedrooms. Hell no, that's not gonna work with 8 fucking kids.
Yeah, I don't even know if you if the fire marshal shows up, they might be like, well, this is
Oh
just way too many
yeah,
people living here.
yeah. So yeah, we didn't go with that option, and we finally got my neighbor upstairs, Mike. He's a fucking cool, chill guy, like him. Then the lady upstairs, also, she's really chill. My neighbor next to us, these 2 gay guys, pretty cool people. I like them. But before like my gay neighbors moved in, there's this chick and her husband, newly married. They're like in their early 20s, and my dad's partner said, we can't have fucking animals in here, and we're like, okay, that makes sense, if because I had my cats, so I was just like, they didn't want me to bring animals and shit. And then this lady, she had a fucking chihuahua, and I looked at the landlord. I'm like, hey man, like she has a fucking dog. Like, did you make her sign paper? Yeah, she paid extra for the fucking dog. And I'm like, oh okay, whatever.
Huh.
But then one dog turned into fucking four, and then four turned into eight.
Damn.
So she fucking rescued like 8 fucking dogs while she was living here, and they fucking barked. They fucking barked. Like, you thought my dog was bad? Imagine 8 of my fucking retarded dog. Imagine 8 of those. 8 of these little fucking retards running around barking for no fucking reason. Oh man.
Were they like all
That shit.
chihuahuas or what?
Yeah, they were all chihuahuas. All chihuahuas. And we kept telling her, like, dude, you got to keep them down. Too much fucking noise. The lady upstairs is complaining. It's like, I put a shock collar on them. And it's like, well, first of all, you're not supposed to have 8 fucking dogs. And we just kept harassing her about it. And then finally she gave up and moved out.
Hmm.
And that was that. So yeah, you always gotta fucking we like it sucks to profile people, but at the same time, like if you own an apartment complex, you want to make sure you have people there that can not only pay their shit on time, but that can take care of your investment.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. If you have some fucking wackadoo just running around your house and fucking digging holes in the fucking wood on the wood floor, or fucking pissing shit, like, oh man, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm getting cringy already. Like,
Yeah. Like I knew this. I just met this guy, and we were talking about renting and stuff like that. And he has a house that I think he owns. So the money he gets from rent is just money. But
yeah.
then I think he charged like $1,000 a month for like a decent 3 bedroom 2 bath house. And
Oh.
he said, yeah, he's like, I had the people in there for like 2 or 3 years, and then he's like, they had to leave or whatever. The husband got a new job or something, and he was like, man, when they left, it cost him $6,000 to put the house back the way it was.
Jesus fucking A,
And I
dude.
was like, holy crap, man. I was like, well, there you go. They're went 6 months. There just went 6 months of your of
Of
money.
your profit, pretty
Yeah,
much. You thought it was profit, but
yeah, just
oh
down the
man,
drain,
that
just
sucks.
gone.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That
I'm like,
fucking
I'm just
sucks.
like, damn, you know, like like even though we rent rooms, we still ask for like a deposit, and then like we make
Mm-hmm.
sure the house is still like together, and we go in and we clean the common areas and stuff like that. So I mean, we haven't really come across like big issues like that. Well, we have. There was one guy who was a fucking he was cool, but then it turned out he was an alcoholic, and then he kept like locking himself. Like he locked himself in his room one time. I don't know how
Yeah.
he did that. And then so he like busted the door down, and then two more times he locked himself out. And we actually like changed the locks to make it easier, so they wouldn't like lock their keys in while they're home.
Yeah.
And but then he like got drunk, went to the store, uh, lost his wallet, lost his phone, lost his keys somewhere, like on the freeway. Like he had to like run across the freeway to get to the store and back, and then tricked some other guy in the house to like kick the door open for him. And then so when we
What
went
the
there, we're
fuck?
like, the funny part was he calls and he complains like, "Oh, his door's busted." And we're like, "What do you mean your door's busted?" He goes, "Yeah, my door doesn't like work right anymore." So we go over there and like the door is like off the hinge. We're like, uh, what the fuck happened? Like,
Nah.
like the door doesn't just fall off like this, Like the whole like frame was busted and everything. And we're like, can you please explain what happened to it? What happened here? And so we're like, he's like, "Oh, I'll get it fixed." We're like, "Nope, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And then we just kept, he's like, "Oh, I'll get it fixed." Like, "Nope, don't worry about it." And then eventually we just had to kick him out because he was just being too much. He even went to rehab and all this other weird stuff and detoxed and then as soon as he came back, he just started up again. And it's like since he's been gone though, it's like the house is a lot cleaner. I don't have to clean the bathrooms as much anymore. So I'm like, I was like, it was a pretty good decision. It sucked because he actually, paid his rent and everything on time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not gonna like keep dealing with his BS because just because he paid his rent on time. And
Man, you
that
just
was
know how to pick them, huh?
well. I mean, it's always like they always come in and they're fine. We like
Yeah.
okay, he got a job, you get paid, and all this good stuff. And because that's the one thing we do is we don't do background checks or anything like that because it's just like okay, like as long as you got the money to move in, you're okay, and as long as your situation is okay, you know. But with this guy, it just because he was there for like 6 months, I think, and the first 4 months he was okay, and it was just like the last 2 months, I guess, him and his wife were like trying to get back together, and it was like the more they were getting back together, the more he was drinking. So
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, man! And it just got worse and worse and worse. But yeah, some dumbass, funny, stupid ass stories. I don't even want to talk about it.
Fuck.
That's not. I mean, we're not theorizing shit. People are just fucking stupid, and it's hard to keep them in the house. Like how are you gonna go? Like no wonder your wife doesn't want you to be home with you anymore. Like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. There's a lot of fucking weird shit going on now, man. Especially when you start owning your own, you know, I noticed that more like when you're owning like an apartment complex or like a duplex or shit like that, you start like really seeing people who they are and the way they live when you fucking have them living there for like months on end.
Yeah, and it's weird because we get a lot like we don't want families moving into a single bedroom.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like I get hit up a lot where like, oh, me, my wife, and our 4 kids, we need a place to stay, and I'm like, I
that's
can't help you. Like I'm not renting out the whole house. I'm just renting out like a tiny room. And they're like,
hmm
oh, that's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. Like I can't.
yeah, no. And then
I'm not gonna
have
deal
your
with it.
kids having your kids run amok in that house with the other
Yeah.
guests living there. Like, oh no, man.
Like there's literally just like there's just enough room for like a bed and a dresser, and then hang a TV on the wall. Like that's pretty much what anybody needs. And then it's all of a sudden you move like a whole family of 6 into one bedroom. You're like, okay, this isn't gonna work.
God damn. Well, there's always the Vatican.
Yeah, just give those children up.
Fuck, man. Yeah, so I don't know how we ended up talking about fucking landlord
Yeah,
issues.
I don't know either.
Oh man, I guess it went from drugs to landlord
Well, I do
and
want to
how people are
say,
just stupid in general.
yeah, I do want to say that I do sound different because I'm using a different headset because my good one broke. and I haven't heard
Oh,
back
you're
yet.
fucking
Yeah, my
from the Corsairs.
Corsairs. So I probably sound weird. I don't know. I don't even know how it
Oh,
sounds.
you sound pretty good in my end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully it just records well. I should have just looked for my Yeti, but I'm like digging through the garage trying to find stuff, and I'm just like, it's just hot as balls in there, and it's just really humid right now. So I'm like, I was out there for like maybe an hour, and I was just like, man, screw this. I can't deal with this. I'm gonna go
Damn,
like,
you're out there for 1 hour and you only lost 5 pounds.
yeah, basically.
Fuck.
I think the other day it wasn't as hot, but I still had like the door open. I could feel like the AC from the house blowing out into the garage, and I was like, "Oh, that feels kind of decent, you know." But then as soon as I step out of the garage, I'm like, "Fuck, it's hot as balls out here."
You know, you need a big ass fucking fan from the house
Yeah,
to the garage and just plug it in and bam, kick that shit off for like a good hour and then turn it off.
I kind of want to see about maybe making the garage like a what do you call it? Habitable space, a conditioned area. So basically,
Yeah.
air conditioner and whatever else blows in there. Because right now it's not. It's just like it's just a garage. But I want to start doing more stuff in the garage, like actually do like uh, projects and things like that. Like I got a bunch of
Damn it.
tools, I got no place to put them.
Fuck. Yeah, I have a garage, but with no walking space.
Yeah,
I just threw
basically.
like over the years, I just threw my shit in there, and I'm like, oh fuck, now I got to deal with it.
Yeah, when we bought this place, the lady that owned it was in a wheelchair, so they have like this gigantic wheelchair ramp for her that took up like maybe 3 quarters of the garage. And so
Uh-huh.
I was trying to take it apart before we try to move in, but then like due to whatever circumstances, we had to like move everything out of our apartment like super quick. So we just threw
Yeah.
everything in the garage and then slowly kind of pulled it into the house. So
God
now
damn.
I still have to like take the whole thing apart, the whole ramp apart, and it's like I said, it goes from like the like it. You ever seen those ones where like they put a ramp somewhere and it's just like you're like even if you're handicapped, you wouldn't want to take the ramp.
Oh yeah.
It goes up one way, up the other way, and then up another way, and you're almost like 2 stories high on the ramp. You're like, holy shit!
Jesus, how big
Like
is this fucking ramp, man?
I mean, it's about like 6 feet off the floor.
Jesus Christ.
And because she was old, they had a really like a really small incline. So it's like so she had to go up it one way, up it the other way, and then up it up to the door. And I'm like,
So
holy crap.
this fucking ramp is as tall as me then. I'm
Yeah,
6'4".
like off the ground. It's like yeah, it's about 5 to 6 feet off the ground.
Jesus.
So when I
She
take it
must
all
have.
apart, I'm gonna like have to build stairs that go up almost about 4 or 5 feet just to get up to the house from the garage.
Uh,
Because then also because I thought about just taking it all off and then just building like a little set of stairs going straight to the door. But my water heater is like elevated, and you wouldn't be able to reach it from below because it's even another 4 feet up off the ground.
fucking dude, what the hell?
Yeah, so from the
Too much
landing,
complication in this
yeah.
house, man.
So from the landing outside the garage door, it's easy to get to. But if I take all that out, then I can't reach it anymore. I'd have to like get like a
uh,
ladder to go up there and then somehow figure out how to bring it down. So I don't know. It's a pain in the ass.
ask your fucking cat how to get up there, man, since he's always on the fucking roof.
Yeah, I don't know how she gets up on the roof. I really don't. She just like we just come home one day and she's like, "Meow." Like you got up there, you figure out how to get back down.
just jump off, bro.
She jumped off once and I think she hurt herself. Like she like went head first into the grass, and then we're like, ooh, like that looked like it hurt. And then she never like now she like takes her time getting down, and she takes little steps down and like crawls down the side of the wall and shit. So
That's funny.
yeah,
All right, so enough with this everyday life shit. Let's talk about some fucking. I brain farted. Let's talk about some fucking some out of this world stuff. I remember I've been telling you fucking I've been hooked on like Norse mythology
yeah,
and like I think what kicked it off was fucking that God of War pretty much.
okay,
And I was like, oh man, like people were like, oh fucking the Marvel movie Thor didn't fucking no man, like I didn't really think about it until I started playing Thor because not Thor, God of War, because it has a weird fucking story. It kind of branches off the mythology, but it like that the what is it, the Sony Santa Monica, they kind of put a little twist to the story. I'll get into it, but fucking I've been like really like reading up and looking at Norse, gods, mythology, like, or what they call it, the pantheon.
I think so. I really
Yeah,
don't know too much about Norse mythology. I know like a little bit, but
yeah, kind of like
it,
the basic stuff, right? Like Odin, Thor,
yeah, and to be honest, it's like the mythology behind it differs from like century to
generation.
century or whatever. Yeah, so
Oh,
you're
okay,
like,
yeah,
so you have your Greek mythology, your Roman mythology, your regular Germanic Norse mythology. Then you have your Scandinavian like mythology, and it's like all the names are similar, but they different people, and then they're different gods, and then it's
yeah,
like some of them are like gods, and some of them are like people that just have like extraordinary abilities, and they're
like
apparently
demigods.
kind of like demigods. But like I know I can't remember who it is, but like basically it's like they just have like everyday human issues,
Ah.
or they're the gods of something really stupid, like they're the gods of like open doors, or the gods of like they're the gods of trees, but it's not like all trees. It's just like one specific tree that got cut down, and then they weren't the god of that tree anymore. Like dumb stupid shit like that.
Huh.
That's why I don't really care, I guess, about Norse mythology because there never really is like a canon
Like
to
a
it.
definitive.
Yeah. So like Odin in one thing is like the god of everybody, and then Odin in another version is like the lowest god.
Yeah, like over here, I guess on that picture I sent you earlier, like the whole family tree that's going on.
Hmm.
I think let's see, most cited least relatable source on the matter is 13th century Icelander Norse Storlin. I don't know who the fuck that is. But this is basically Norway, I guess. Not Iceland, Norway and shit like that. That's like basically this is their version of Norse mythology.
Right, which isn't the same as the like original Norse mythology, which is like I think
Yeah.
like Odin on here is like almost at the bottom, where I
Yeah.
think like
But I
in
think this is just representing like the people who fathered the other gods, or the parents of the other gods. So it's kind of showing you like, you know little things here and there, like for like on the very top you got Ymir, the ice giant,
yeah.
and his family tree branches off all weird. So I guess he magically created uh you know four other people. Like you see, like there's four people in the very, like not on the very top, but right underneath the Ymir.
Yeah.
And then these two people on the left, sorry for the people who are listening to this, but uh Farbauti and Laufey. I can't pronounce their name. That's like super fucking Scandinavian. So these two people are the mother and father of Loki,
See,
who's
I don't.
basically who is a descendant of the ice giants, which pretty much kind of ties into like the regular Norse mythology. Like, Loki was brought in by Odin because Odin rescued him from like think it's called No, not Niflheim. No, Jotunheim is where the ice giants live. And pretty much Odin came, fought the ice giants, and then rescued Loki. Loki was an ice giant himself, but just a normal sized one, I guess. And so yeah, so these two people are parents of Loki, and Loki happened to fuck a horse.
Hmm.
It literally says Loki, a horse, and then you look down at the next person underneath the horse, and he had a child that's a horse with 8 legs, and it's called Sleipnir. I can't even pronounce it. My fucking Scandinavian's bad, bro. But so Loki basically fucked a horse and had an 8-legged horse as a kid. So that's how fucking weird that mythology is. That's why I'm so intrigued, because like there's so many fucking like, oh, this person fucked this one and had this, and this person fucked the other one and had this shit. And like, you look at who else Loki banged. He banged some other fucking chick. I don't know who this chick is, but apparently from this chick, they had Fenrir, which is a fucking wolf. Jormungandr was is the world serpent, and then Hel. I guess the chick who runs the underworld in their mythology. And I thought always that Odin. I thought growing up Odin was the father of Hel, kind of like in the movie as well. But apparently Loki is Hel's dad.
Yeah, this I'm looking at another one. It says Loki's descendant of the giants, so he's
Yeah, that's the ice giants.
Odin's not his father.
No, yeah, like I said earlier, like in stories I've heard in the past, he fought the ice giants in Jotunheim, and he rescued Loki because Loki was abandoned. But Odin knew he was an ice giant himself. But the problem is that Loki wasn't like the typical ice giant. He was kind of like special because he was like average size. He was like human size, pretty much.
Hmm.
But yeah, Loki is a descendant of the ice giants.
Well, even then, I think when they refer to giants, I don't think they really refer to like
Like
gigantic
big, yeah,
people.
big
I think
fucking massive people.
giants is just a name for somebody who was like a, I don't know, like a pre-runner to the gods or something like that.
Ah,
But see, that's what I'm saying though. That's why I don't really like Norse mythology because
it's kind
you'll
of all
have,
over the place.
yeah, you just have someone like what, like the Percy Jackson movies or books or whatever. Like they just kind of take more Norse mythology and just kind of rearrange it however they feel like it. That's the same
Or
thing
no,
with the
that's is that
God of
was that
War stuff.
Norse?
Well, I
Was
mean,
that Norse?
it's not necessarily
Oh, it's
Norse, but it's the same God still. That's what I'm saying. It's just
no.
it's the same
I thought that
names
was
and
Greek. I thought that was like Zeus
right. Well,
and
so if you look up the Greek gods, it's almost the same people.
ah. I guess I don't know who the I just know like the basic gods in Greek is basically Zeus, Hercules, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, fucking what's his name? Artemis. What's the dude that runs fast? I forget his name. Mercury. Uh, fucking I know those gods for sure, but like, but yeah, Norse mythology has like a fucking weird fucking story to it, and then it's like almost never accurate, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know. It's just weird because then you have, like I
Yeah,
said, like you have the Greek gods, then you have the Norse gods, and then you have the Roman
Egyptian
gods,
gods.
and then they're all pretty much have very similar names. They're the similar gods of similar stuff, but then just like the history of it, whenever they decided, because that picture you showed me says from like the 13th century,
Yeah.
whereas like the Greek gods were there way before that, but I mean then they just kind of like basically Odin is Zeus in Greek mythology.
Oh, okay, kind of like oh, okay, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funky. In fact, the Greek mythology is actually a little bit more structured, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because they kept it the same. I think they didn't really like
Right. The only
because
changes
there
it kind
wasn't
of went from
really
Greek to Roman or Roman to Greek or whatever. That
yeah.
was the only big change that they had, and I don't know
I
exactly how it changed.
I think in Roman when they still adapted to Greek mythology, but it's almost like they were adding gods on top of what was already there. Like there's this one god, a Roman god called Bellona, and she was like the god of like it was like their version of the god of war. She was kind of like a Spartan god who basically gave everybody the strength to go and fucking fight and kill each other and shit. See,
Mhm.
that's one I've heard. But like other gods, like they kept like adding gods on top of that because I guess they wanted like kind of like pump themselves up and believe in something that probably gave them the courage to go and fucking kill people or fight or etc. I think because I know this is fucking like the spaghetti monster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just people just adding gods to the mix.
And I think that was the weird part of God of War because I think they did mix a lot of Greek and Norse
Yeah,
mythology.
because in the first three installments of God of War, like the main storyline, it was Greek. Yeah, he's Greek. Kratos himself is Greek. He's the son of Zeus. He, basically was tricked by Ares to kill his family, and then he went and tried to get. He killed Ares afterwards. After he killed his family, then found out that Zeus was kind of like manipulating him, and then he found out that he's Zeus's son.
Hmm.
So then he went on a fucking tyrant, and he went and killing all the other gods. Like in part three was like the end of the Greek mythology, pretty much. Like he annihilated Greece in general.
Yeah.
Like he annihilated all the gods. He killed everybody in that fucking pantheon. That's it. Boom. So in that world, in the Greek world, there's no more Greek gods. So Greece and all that section, it's basically Armageddon. He caused Armageddon.
Okay.
And
Ragnarok or whatever.
yeah, and their version, it was just the end of the world. In Norse mythology, they refer to that, to the apocalypse, as Ragnarok, which is caused by, I think, what is it? There's this god. They don't mention it on this list, but there's a god who is captured by Odin, who is hell bent on causing Ragnarok. He just wants to end everything. That's his fucking purpose in life, is just to kill shit and end everything. And I think in God of War, well, I don't think I beat the game, and they kind of took it to a weird twist. It's actually pretty good. Like if you were to play that game, you'll probably like it, because it's a good fucking way of putting. Like I like their version of Norse mythology better than over the years people fucking adding and removing or whatever the fuck. But
Yeah.
in this story, spoiler alert, but Kratos has a kid again, and his wife dies, and she is apparently a fucking ice giant herself.
Right.
And this kid, he doesn't want to tell the kid that he killed Zeus, or Zeus is his father, and
I remember
now
that was
this
like a
kid,
that was a big thing, right? He didn't want his son to know that he was like a quarter god or something like that, or a quarter.
yeah, like he was part god,
But then he's like
part,
he's a quarter human, a quarter god, and then half giant.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the little story, because his mom, which you don't see his mom in the game, but like they reference her a lot, like she was a giant herself.
But she
And
wasn't
she
big though. That's what I'm saying. She wasn't
no
like an
no she
actual
wasn't big,
giant. It's just
but that's
she was just a descendant of people
yeah
who
of
were called giants, who were like the primordial
you know
people or something like that.
yeah. But you see though, in the game they show ice giants. I mean,
Ye-
they're not alive anymore,
Yeah.
but they're actual fucking like giants. Like these fucking motherfuckers are bigger than mountains, and they're just like laying all over the place.
Yeah.
Like they're dead. Like Odin wiped them out, but there was descendants of the giants, and I think those later on turned into like how you said, people who are kind of next to God, or next to being a god, or something like that, or whatnot. I forgot how you phrased it.
Well, like they're they're not. I don't know how to say it. I mean, I guess they're considered gods in Norse mythology, the giants, the ice giants.
Yeah,
But it's like, in my opinion, I think they're just called giants. Like giants is just like a title,
yeah.
where they weren't actually gigantic giants. But then you have the idea that I think that like most of the mountain ranges or something like that in
They had
Scandinavia actually
big
are like,
motherfuckers.
yeah, like they were actual giants. So it could be that they were giants, but then maybe they had like avatars, or maybe they had the ability to like shrink down to like human sized
Yeah,
people.
or maybe like the later generations kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until they became human size. But they were still considered giants because they came from these big motherfuckers,
Right.
basically.
But
Yeah, so yeah,
I just think they had the ability to
to
change though.
shrink down.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh boy, here comes my dog.
Uh oh. You should have named him Odin's son.
Stupid. That dog. More like cockroach. But but yeah, so in that game, basically they're after the fucking kid. Pretty much, Odin's after the kid because Odin can predict, or he thinks he can predict Ragnarok, and I guess he's trying to prevent Ragnarok, and he feels like, okay, I just got to start killing motherfuckers left and right to make sure Ragnarok doesn't fucking happen. And that's basically what's going on in that game.
So, but yeah, I never understood why they were actually going after the kid. I thought it was just something
Uh, I mean, do you want me
funky.
to spoil it for you?
Sure. I mean, I thought
Okay,
I watched it all. I just didn't understand it.
yeah. So this kid was, the son of Kratos, and then the other chick. I forget the name of the mother, but she was a descent. Well, she was a descendant of the ice giants, who basically just left. She left Jotunheim or whatever the fuck. Had a kid with Kratos. They did the little thing, and then this kid is the key. Odin thinks that this kid is the key to Ragnarok.
Hmm.
So that's why they're fucking after this kid. Like nobody knows it, but nobody knows like basically like Thor and Boulder and all these other guys. They're after, they're being told, go kill that fucking kid or bring him to me, or et cetera, et cetera. But they don't know. They don't. Not even the bad guys know why. And not only that, like these gods are considered bad guys in the game.
Huh.
Like the Norse gods, they're fucking dickheads. Not all of them, but they're like basically everybody that's in Odin's branch, they're all fucking dickheads. And
Yeah.
Odin's just a fucking maniac, just out to kill whatever the fuck is gonna cause. He thinks everything's gonna cause Ragnarok, so he's kind of like wiping it off, little by little. And this kid is the key to Ragnarok because it turns out towards the end of the game, he's Loki.
What?
Yeah, the kid is Loki, but nobody knows it. Like that's what his mom called that. Like when it's weird. Like you have to play the game. Like at the end when they're looking at all the murals in Jotunheim, like they're looking at the paintings of like the kid's mom talking to the giants, and she kept referring to the kid as Loki. That's what she named the kid, Loki. And Kratos was like, I didn't like the name. I'm gonna call him Atreus. You know, kind of Greek, kind of Norse. It's kind of like
Okay.
a mix of both. Regions put together in one name. But the mom referred to the kid as Loki. Like she predicted, basically in those murals, she predicted Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And this kid is the key to Ragnarok. He either stops it or makes it happen. They don't really go into it that much, but from what they know so far is this kid is the fucking key, and he's Loki. And that's why Odin's after him, because he thinks that he's gonna start it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy, but like, yeah, all the gods in that game are
But
fucking
he's
dickheads.
not already the Norse god Loki. He's going to become Loki.
Yeah, he's gonna become. He's well. I think he already is because this kid has powers. This
Yeah,
kid already has
he's
powers,
got.
but he doesn't know. He hasn't tapped into it yet.
That's so weird. Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know that was how it went through.
they went
That's what
with
I'm
it.
saying. It's like it's the picking and the plucking of the different, like the
Yeah,
Norse and Greek god mythology. Because you read that stupid thing you just posted with the Norse god family tree, and Loki's at the top.
yeah.
So
You
it's
see,
like
yeah.
okay,
So I think this company went. I mean, they did a good job. Like, dude, if you want, I'll ship my PS4 over to you so you can play the fucking game. It's a good game, man. I like the story behind it, like the way they kind of like,
yeah, I've
you
always
know,
liked the story behind it. I thought it was really
yeah,
great story.
the way they incorporated all the Norse gods and the mythology and the areas, dude, it's fucking badass. Like, I like the story. I like where they're going with it. Like, even Kratos doesn't know why she called him Loki. He's like, I never liked that name. Like, you know, so why didn't they stick with that name? And he's like, that's a story for another time. So he kind of knows something about it, but he doesn't know I guess the significance of that name. Like, you know,
Yeah,
we're
makes
gonna learn
sense.
that in part two. But that's gonna be dope. But that's how they went with that story. It's pretty badass. I liked it. I liked it. I'll ship over the PS4 for like a couple of weeks, and then you get
Just send me the Mac. I'll be fine.
send you the Mac.
Send me the Mac.
But yeah, see, I just thought it was interesting. But yeah, you're right though. They do over the centuries. They did pick apart the original mythology and they kind of just mixed it here and there.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if you see in the middle, but Hemdall, he is the child of a fucking orgy apparently.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
See,
get
I
all
don't know.
my, I'm getting all my gods all mixed up because was it who is shit? What were those movies that came out not too long ago with Sam Worthington, where he was a demigod? He was like Hercules almost, like Thor is his half brother.
I don't know. I've never heard of that one. What is that? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or something? Like they just mashed up
No,
a bunch of gods and or a bunch of fucking folklores and shit.
no. Oh god, I can't remember. Can't remember now. But like, I mean, they had to
I
fight.
remember.
They had to fight the Titans, and and then
Oh, you
God.
mean
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm mixing them all up in my head because like there's so
yeah,
many
no, you're
different certain
talking about
ones.
that fucking movie with the dude from Terminator, that
Yeah,
Australian actor, and then Liam Neeson was Zeus, and that other
yeah.
actor, fucking Voldemort, was fucking Hades. What is it called? It's not Spartacus. It's not. What the fuck is the name of that movie? Not Attack on Titan.
No,
Fucking hold on. Hey, what's the name of that movie with Liam Neeson as Zeus? Clash of the Titans.
yeah. There you go.
See,
Okay.
that's like Greek. That's like Greek borderline Roman, pretty much, because they did have like the Greeks worship Zeus, but then the Romans worship like the Kraken and shit like that. Or
That was something
they had
like
like both. They had both in that mix. What was another movie with that kind of shit? It was one with Henry Cavill. What's the name of that movie? One where he had a fucking bow and arrow. It was from the
oh,
guy from 300 that made it,
yeah.
Frank Miller.
That was a trippy movie.
It was a good
Um,
one.
yeah, that was the
And then
same
Mickey
same
Mickey
deal though.
Rourke was
Like
the
they had
fucking
to
bad
fight.
guy.
Yeah, they had to fight like whatever Titans that Zeus had locked up. But then it was
Hmm.
like in Clash of Titans, Zeus was like dying. Like it was like the end of the Greek
Oh,
gods because nobody
because they
believed him
stopped worship.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
And that's
then
where they
this
caused
other
all that
movie
bullshit, right?
was like he was kind of like Hercules, and he was
He just didn't know it.
kind of, and then he like led the armies. What was it? Hercules? Did he play it? No, he wasn't
No,
Hercules.
it
No,
wasn't Hercules. Hercules was in that movie,
Kevin
but he was
Serbo.
fuck the old school. And then what's the name of
He's
that
the
fucking
only
midget guy?
he's the only
The midget.
Hercules in my life.
Oh my god.
Deep in my heart, he's the first and last Hercules.
And then you look behind you, you have a big ass poster of him.
How'd you know?
Oh my god.
Ugh.
See, what's the name of that
See,
fucking
it's just
movie?
it's so weird though because those are all I guess stories that are embedded in part of the Greek mythology, but then they don't make sense. Like they're out of place.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just an interpretation of, I
But I mean,
guess,
is it just good
for the movie.
storytelling, or is it just like
I think it's
are
good.
they just
I think
that
it's good
screwed up that they
storytelling.
can't figure out what God did what where and how?
Oh, it's called Immortals.
Yeah, I would never have figured that one out.
Yeah, I had to look up Henry Cavill. That's the only way I found it.
And he died in
I
it,
was
so
gonna.
it's not very immortal. So
No, he didn't. I don't think he dies. I think he just ascended with the gods. Because remember when they looked up into the sky and they're fighting up there with the Titans?
yeah,
Yeah. So I think on Earth he died, but I think he ascended like a fucking Jedi basically. He
hmm,
became one with the Force, and he's up there fighting and fucking partying and orgying it up with fucking gods up there and shit. How badass is
orgying
that?
it up.
Because the Romans were all into that orgy shit.
Yeah, I think
What's
that's
his
where you
name?
get like more weird debauchery shit.
Yeah. Which probably would have been fucking badass to be invited to one of those parties, man. Like fucking, let's worship gods, drink and fuck. But then they ended up just fucking like dudes fucking dudes and shit. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a sausage fest in here.
Yeah, pretty much. There's more fucking dudes because there were a lot of frisky Romans in that era where they just wanted to fuck anything. Like they'll fuck cows, pigs, sheep's,
Jeez.
fucking
That's why their society crumbled.
yeah. The Vikings, right? The Vikings came in and fucked them up pretty much.
I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it, but it wasn't the Vikings. I don't think it was just they just collapsed from the inside out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I could have sworn like a group of like maniacs went in there, like a horde of people, and they just fucking destroyed that place. Well, maybe yeah, like the
yeah, kind
infrastructure
of,
did
but
fail, and therefore they were invaded easier. Like it was easy
yeah,
for these motherfuckers to invade them because
yeah,
it like
that's
what
part of
I
it.
from what I remember, it's like a bunch of fucking crazy Anglo Saxons just fucking bum rushed them, and they're already fucked up as a society. Like they just killed their king or whatever the fuck, and they were like the Senate was in the process of finding somebody and they couldn't, and then these motherfuckers just came in and it's like, all right, get on your knees, get on your fucking knees, dude.
I can't remember who they were invaded by, but yeah, I can't remember. But I mean, it was a lot of different things. They were stretched
Yeah,
real thin. A lot of their military was like overseas. Um, yeah, they just like I said, it's just they were too worried about the fact that they were you know do in Rome as the Romans do, and they're too busy diddling each other and stuff. So
they're too busy cockling each other.
hmm
Oh, the barbarians took him over. So look, check this out. In 467, no, in 476 CE, Romulus, the last of the Roman emperors in the West, was overthrown by a Germanic leader, Odarcer, who became the first barbarian to rule in Rome. In order for that, the Roman Empire had brought the Western Europe for 1,000 years was no more. So yeah, so it was a barbarian who fucking came in and just took over.
yeah, but before that though, it was a weird deal where because Romans were the first people to set up like an actual citizenship type thing. So like only Romans were allowed
Ah,
to like vote for Roman things. But then after a while, they started getting lazy and they're like, okay, well these people aren't Romans. Let's go ahead and let them vote. So they were like voting in stuff to make their lives easier as non-Romans, and then things just kind of fell apart, and then that's when it was just a lot easier for the barbarians to invade. And then they were at war. I don't know if by the 400 AD if they were still at war with the Britain, but Britain had pushed them back off the island, back to Rome and whatnot.
yeah. Damn, imagine we can time travel and see all that shit, man.
That'd be pretty cool.
Just watch history go down. Fuck, that'd be dope. I wouldn't doubt if somebody is already doing that shit and they're just keeping it to themselves.
I think my brain is too what do you call it, like infiltrated by movies, that I'm like, oh yeah, King Arthur attacked the Romans and killed them all, and then
Yeah,
and then there's like
Hollywood
another, and
fucked
then
up
like an
history.
yeah, and then there's like another movie out like, oh, King Arthur was a Roman. I'm like, oh okay, and then he like fought the Romans and then saved the day. And you're like, what?
And then
Okay,
next thing you know, fucking King Arthur was Asian.
yeah, yeah,
Like, and then after that, King Arthur was Mickey Mouse.
and then
And
he
then Mickey
built the
Mouse
Great Wall of
became,
China.
and then fucking Mickey Mouse grew fucking weird little mustache and became a Mongolian.
Yeah,
Like fucking
he
yeah.
changed his name to Genghis Khan, and then
Damn. Next thing you know, he's working at Best Buy.
ratting it up.
Damn. Then he gets fucking inaugurated by the Vatican to fucking go out and recruit little kids at Disneyland again.
Ugh.
Damn, what's up with the Vatican, dude? Like fuck. That's like three times I already mentioned the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't know what's
No,
wrong with
I
you.
think no,
That
I
that
think I
might that
saw.
might
I
be
think I
another.
was.
I think I gotta write that down. That might be another good Bunk Betty
Thing we
topic to
can
talk
look into.
about.
Yeah,
Not just the Vatican, but just
just that society.
no, just I like honestly like because the more stuff I've been reading lately, child like trafficking goes like
Mm.
really fucking deep. Like it's
Yeah.
in America, it's in Europe, it's in um
It's all over the world, dude.
yeah.
It's all over the world at this point. It's all
But
over the
there's
world, man.
but there's a lot of like really weird like major players, and
Mm.
like the Vatican is kind of one of them, and I don't know. It's
They,
like I
they,
don't want to like I kind of want to do a little bit more research before I start just
yeah.
mouthing. But stuff I've read in just the news in this last week or two, I'm
A
like,
lot of high
man,
profile people, man.
yeah,
A
I'm
lot of high.
horrified. Like a lot of people are just dying. Like all of a sudden, they're just dying out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, well, they were looking into this, child sex trafficking in Haiti, and now they're dead. And then I guess
Mm.
there's like a lot of like NYPD cops that were like investigating something, and that like now all of a sudden they're dying off. Like it's like I think like 3 cops committed suicide in the last week or something like that, and it has something to do with child trafficking and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
And I
No,
don't know
it's
if
gonna.
I'm not sure if
It's
it's like they were a part of it and like things were just getting out of hand and they killed themselves so no one would like go after them, or if
yeah.
they were trying to help like bring it to light and then that got them killed. It's
Yeah.
just really weird.
You know where I just saw something like that recently? Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, remember Patrick Swayze was like the big fucking mega church guy, and for some reason, uh, Donnie Darko's his inner voice told him to go and burn that fucking house down. And then they found the fucking porn ring that he had going
yeah,
on in that hidden room.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, dude. A lot, and and it's not to knock down like religious people and shit like that, but a lot of it's a lot of fucking churchgoers, dude. A lot of churches are involved in that shit. Like for example, obviously the
Was he a
Vatican is like
church
the
guy?
major
I thought
player.
he was just a. I thought he was like
He
a self
or like
help guru.
a
Yeah,
motivational
yeah. He was
speaker,
like a
but
motivational
he
speaker.
but he but what was it, that lady? She was like a church lady or something, right? She worshipped him.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people like motivational speakers because they makes you
Yeah.
feel all tingly inside.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Yeah, I won't get too much into it. But yeah, like the Vatican's like the big, the big dog when it comes to fucking, kids being, raped and fucking tortured and shit like that. They're like the big ones. And I think from there it branched off into all this other crazy shit that we're having going on in the world.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was like started by a church or anything like that.
Well,
I
not,
just think
yeah,
it's
not
just been
not
something
started,
that's
but
been.
a lot of these weird events with that involves kids. A lot of it's fucking like the Catholic Church and shit like that.
I mean, I'll just go out and say it. It begins and ends with like demonic stuff. Like it's all part of like worshiping Moloch, who's like the whatever the god of entertainment or something weird like that. Like he's just like this
Mm.
weird ancient demon god, and
And you
those
think the
people.
Vatican worships that shit?
I think I think there's two heads in the Vatican right now, and one has always kind of been there. Well, I think they've always been there. Like there's the good side and then there's the bad side. And I think the Vatican, as big as it is, I think these two sides have been kind of battling each other. And then unfortunately, I think in the last couple decades, maybe the bad side has been winning a lot more.
Hmm.
Because I remember reading something where like one of the big things that people were talking about the Vatican was that the Vatican was the only place that gay men could go and find sanctuary. And basically, and then that's why they started doing the, taking the vow of celibacy and stuff like that because, being gay was a sin, but the church was still willing to like help them and keep them
Yeah,
safe because they were being persecuted and stuff. But then I think from that launched, you know, this whole weird like pedophile kind of thing, and then like indoctrinating people and stuff like that in the church. And I don't know. It's just like I said,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to get into it. It's kind of one of those topics that I'm afraid of really getting into and sinking into because I think it is going to set off like alarms or whatever at somebody at the head office. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we're
That
nobodies,
sucks.
but we might
Yeah,
hit something
we
that
might hit a nerve. We might strike a
yeah,
nerve if we keep
yeah.
digging into it.
Because I
See, that's
mean,
what's
like,
fucked up. Like we're like in we're in the United States. We're like the freedom of speech, right? but only to an extent. Like they don't want us talking about this weird shit because hey, you never know, dude. We may say something and we fucking probably crack the code, and they're trying to
Yeah,
prevent that. Whoever they are, the fucking I call them the lizard people.
yeah. I mean, I, you know, I got really into all that weird like Zeitgeist stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
all those videos, and then it was like, you know, you start seeing all this stuff for celebrities, and there's like goats, and there's a lot of weird demonic like pentagrams and stuff like that in their in their clothing and in their shows, and then they you see them like outright speaking to people who are, they consider themselves a level 10 witchcraft, like they're spirit
Yeah.
cookers and all sorts of weird stuff, and it's just really weird. Like if it wasn't so blatantly out in the open, I'd be like, oh, it's just a coincidence. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's that whole Beyonce thing where like her whole show was like this really weird,
Like
like,
Illuminati tribute, right, or some shit
yeah,
like
like
that.
there was a lot of Illuminati stuff, and there was a lot of like demon stuff and devil worshipping stuff, and I was just like, okay. And then it was weird because then people try to backtrack on it, and they're like, oh, no, no, this was all the designs of one person, and that person just like took these designs, ran with it, and then nobody really kept him in check. But it's like when you go on stage and you have a big ass fucking goat head like upside down on a pentagram and you're dancing in front of it, it's like you kind of have to be like, oh shit, like the devil's right behind me, you know?
Yeah, like that. It's like, oh well, this represents petting zoos. Like, no, bitch,
Yeah,
it's satanic, dude. It's pretty fucking dark magic shit, bro. Like you can't paint a pentagram and be like, well, that's a fucking the Star of David. No, bitch, it's not.
yeah. There's too many damn points on that star, It's
Yeah,
like,
and then there's these weird little scribbles on it, and there's a fucking goat head just hanging there. Like, dude,
yeah,
you
no,
can't pull the wool over our eyes. I mean, there's people that are fucking that dumb, and they're
yeah.
like, "That's just a design. Beyonce is our queen." But
Because
that's what
there's
it is, dude.
because there is power in symbolism and stuff like that, and that's the
Yeah.
problem. You start praising Beyonce, and Beyonce is getting her power from somebody else, and then
Hmm.
she's praising, like I said, these demons. So basically they're channeling through her. I don't know. It was kind of weird because I kind of looked into all this stuff, and I was seeing all this weird shit, and you know, and just kind of tripping out over it. And then I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of it all? Like where's the end game? When the world is torn apart and nobody's happy and everybody's dead and dying, and who wins? And then,
Hmm.
not to get like ultra religious, but ultimately it's Satan. You know, to be
Yeah.
honest, like ultimately in the end, Satan wins. Like that's kind of like if we follow all these, if we follow all these weird little threads and see where everybody's coming from, the Illuminati, the spirit cooking, all this child sex trafficking stuff, and it's weird because like some of these children that got taken, they should be adults by now, but you don't hear about them. Like where are
No.
they? Where are they at? And then a lot of people talking about child sacrifice has become a big thing now. Like more and more
Yeah.
children around the world are disappearing, and for some people, it's just money. Like they don't really know what they're doing. They're not. They're just like, oh well, I gotta traffic 10 kids, and now these 10 kids, I'll make $1 million. So like, hell yeah, I'm gonna traffic these 10 kids. But then those
Hmm.
10 kids end up, going into some kind of weird, like that
Cult.
Nexium, yeah, that Nexium cult thing. Like, so they get indoctrinated into the Nexium cult, and they become sex slaves, and then before they're 18, then they're like slaughtered, and I mean, this is just my opinion, but I'm pretty sure that they're killed and sacrificed to some sort of demon god thing, and then those people who are in power like stay in power.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
trippy,
yeah.
dude.
So what about Norse gods? I mean,
Yeah, we went from Norse gods. Well, that's the beauty about podcasting, dude. You can just go from one thing to another. I
but I mean,
love it.
I don't know. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I
it's
kind of want to do an episode on it, but I am kind of like
yeah, it's
not really
iffy.
afraid, but you just have to like mentally be ready to get into it.
Yeah, because this shit. Because I remember when was it a few years ago when the Beyonce and Jay Z and the Illuminati and when like the Illuminati was like bumped up to like a 10 from a 5, and
Yeah,
like and then there's people, dude. There's people posting videos of inside the what is it, the Freemason? It's like a Freemason lodge, but
Hmm.
it's a big fucking stadium, and they have. Oh man, I'll probably look for the video and I'll send it to you. But I don't know if we're gonna get into it even more. But it was like a 20-second video clip, and it's a stadium full of these people wearing a fucking robe, and they're all chanting this fucking seance chant. And at the bottom of the stadium, there's this big fucking triangle with an eye on it.
Yeah.
And apparently that's like their Illuminati con is what they
Yeah.
call it. And they
Yeah.
all gathered there and they do the seance, and then they all congregate and talk to each other. Who knows what else they fucking do? They probably fuck each other at the same
Yeah.
time. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure because it's funny because then what there's God, I can't remember what it's called now, but there's like that thing where like if you want to join the big boys club, you kind of have to like get like being jumped in. Like it's funny
Hmm.
because there's all these like clubs and cults and then it follows the gangs and then it's like all of them do the same thing, you know? Like
Yeah,
when uh when Islam or whatever would create assassins or they call them assassins or whatever, they
assassins.
would
Yeah.
they would they would have them smoke shit ton of hashish, right? And then like oh, if you kill these people for us and you become a good assassin, this is kind of like what waits for you on the other side. And then they have them like in a weird orgy or whatever. And it's like oh, if you die for Islam or you die for your for us, this is what awaits you in heaven, kind of deal. So it's kind of it's the same thing for all going back. Like in gangs, it's like in a gang you feel more like your family than you do with your own family because everybody takes care of each other. But it's also like super duper evil and they have you want to do bad stuff. And it's the same thing
Yeah.
even in like high society where it's like, you know, yeah, cool, you could be a part of this club, but we need you to like show up at this party. And then it's like a weird like underage child sex party, and then they take pictures of you while you're there. So even if you didn't do anything, you're still like guilty by association. Like they have specifically pictures of you, and I think that's what we're seeing a lot of in, especially in American politics, because these people are acting fucking.
Oh,
That's just not.
your mic keeps going in and out, dude.
I think I pulled the plug on it. But
Oh, there
like
we go.
with just like I said, like our own government, these people are just fucking rabidly insane. Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
And it's not even like a one-sided thing. It's everybody who's, well, I'm not gonna say everybody because there are some good people out there, but
But
it's
it
like
is
there's a lot of
it
it, a lot of people in politics. There's a lot of them that are fucking just maniacs, dude.
yeah, and I think the problem is they're all lich pins. They're all holding it together. So if one pin
Yeah.
gets pulled, they all fall apart. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then it's and that's maybe why we're seeing a lot of these people just dying left and right now because they're trying to pull the pin out and they don't they someone's trying to
Yeah.
stop them.
Oh, dude. If somebody was to succeed in doing that, fuck, man, our government will crumble a lot. I mean, it will. I mean, we'll be in a fucked up state, but at the same time, it's like, hey, dude, like half of these half of these motherfuckers on both parties are fucking little kids, man, or they're
Yeah,
involved in that trafficking,
yeah,
or they're involved in sacrificing. Like, dude, like somebody exposing that, our the state of our government will be kind of fucked.
yeah. I mean, I hope it does. I hope in the next couple of
Yeah,
years everything just falls apart because with the government being shut down every 2 years or whatever, people have learned like okay, well we don't the government being shut down isn't going to hurt everybody. Like the very few people it hurts can get help from someplace else.
yeah,
You know, like when the government was shut down, everyone was like, oh, okay, government shut down. Like post office is
fuck,
still working. Like everything was still working, and it was just like, but people
yeah.
are
I,
just
I
don't
think what
understand
was
what the
it?
government means.
What was it? The museums and libraries were just closed down, right?
I think so. I think the like some of the federal land stuff was shut down, but
Hmm.
then
Like
even
national
then,
parks, some national parks were kind of like,
yeah, but
oh,
even then,
don't do
national
anything.
parks right now they're still only working at like quarter half capacity because they don't hire enough people to help out there. I
Yeah.
know. I remember
Well,
last time
well,
I was in California, that was like most of the national parks are like you can't even get to because the roads are all fucked up.
Yeah, and what's crazy too, it's like from where I've seen, because I tried to like when business was kind of running slow, I tried applying for park ranger, but like man, they want you to do some crazy. They want you to have some crazy fucking requirements. I was like, dude, you guys are like hurting for people. Like, just start hiring people. Like they expect like, oh well, we need you to know what to do if a fucking dragon comes in and snatches a bear. What's your option? Like what?
Huh?
Like, dude, all you're making me do is just drive around, pick up fucking trash, and make sure the park is legit. End
Yeah.
the story. End the fucking story. And they're like, yeah, like you said, they're like in dire need of people, but they want the most out of people. And it's like, dude, not many people have experience working in a fucking national park, you know? So yeah, it's weird. It's like they want people, but they want like the best of the best. Is like, dude, all
Yeah.
you're paying them to do is just drive around and make sure nobody's fucking around. End of story.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, like joining the like out here. There's a lot of like national parks and stuff, but it, it's weird. Like the hours are really weird, and then they don't pay really well. And then yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, you have to have like some kind of like weird geological background. I'm like, for what? Like I'm just going out there and making sure there's no dead people on the trails and stuff. Like it just
Yeah.
like you don't really have to do much, but then they expect you to have like a bachelor's degree in like gender studies, so you won't hurt anybody's feelings while they're at the park or something. Like what?
Oh God.
Like suck my dick for $12 an hour, man. Forget that. I guess it's stupid, man. Like I'm like these requirements are retarded.
Yeah, just fucking, like I need to know what kind of dinosaur bone it is when I find it, but yet they're gonna make me just go around picking up trash. Like, it's like if you find a dinosaur bone, would you know what dinosaur it's from? No, because I'm digging through trash cans and cleaning fucking porter potties, dude. Like, yeah, like fuck, man. Like just recently, fucking me and Alan went up north. You know where Courtright is,
Yeah,
past Fresno. So we went fishing right there in Washawn Lake, and we stopped by the redwood trees. And I said, all right, I gotta take a piss. I go in there, and the fucking bathroom's like destroyed, dude. These all it is just a toilet seat on top of a hole. There's no
yeah,
running water up there.
yeah.
And I'm
No,
like, damn, like they don't give a fuck. And it's
well,
due to the lack of.
I don't think there was ever running waters in the toilet seats up there
No, there wasn't. No, no, there never was. It was just a hole in the floor with a toilet seat, like a plastic toilet seat that stuck up like about 3.5 feet.
though. Yeah,
And basically, you're just pissing and shitting in the hole. And that thing was a fucking mess. Dude. There was shit all over the walls. There was like shit like on the door. I'm like, ugh. Like, never mind, dude. Like, they don't have enough people to deal with that shit. But yet, you want a job with them, you got to figure out what kind of butterfly, you know, if you see a butterfly, should you touch it or not? Like stupid shit like that. They're just like, man, like I really like. First of all, you don't need a high school diploma to fucking drive around and pick up trash in a national park.
yeah,
That needs to be that whole high school diploma shit needs to be thrown out the window. If you find somebody that's willing to work his ass off for a company or for the state or government, like a high school diploma should not define a person or just any certification. Like, I mean, yeah, like if they want you to be like, hey, you're gonna be digging dinosaur bones, you need to know what the fuck you're doing down there. Like, yeah, we need people, with experience. But if you're just having somebody, either do janitorial work or repairing, potholes on the street, you don't need a fucking high school diploma for that, and you don't need a bachelor's degree in fucking science for that shit either. Like, fuck, man, it's a fucking pain in the ass getting a job, especially out in California.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're starting. The United States is starting to turn back into a industrial economy. So trades is going to be the big thing. Like, so you go
Mm-hmm.
right from high school, or I'm hoping what they're going to start doing is teaching people like they used to, like back in the '60s and '70s, and I think even the '80s.
Workshops,
Yeah, workshop
home
stuff
ec, and
from in high school because people would become car mechanics right out of high school, or they
mm-hmm.
become machinists right out of high school, and then normally they'd either learn on the job or they would go to some kind of trade school and become like certified in it or something.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
that's going to be big probably in the next, I would say, like 5 years. Is that we're going to see a lot more trade schools maybe popping up, or a lot more colleges offering trade
trade.
school stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah. Because when I was in,
I really hope colleges get defunded. You know.
I remember fucking being in high school, like mechanic shop, workshop, carpentry. You know, we had but like music class too. We
Yeah.
had a bunch of classes that involved kids getting into certain things, and that was like like my generation when I was in high school was like the last generation of that. Because after I fucking went to New York, I moved out and shit like that. Like a few years later, bam, they took out driver's ed, they took out workshops, mechanic shops, music classes. They took down a bunch of stuff, and I was just like, fuck, there goes there goes the working class citizen right there,
Yeah.
you know. Because that's where a lot of people got their knowledge of certain things. Like I have a buddy who you know all every year took workshop. Fucking dude became a carpenter,
Yeah.
making big money in the union, making fucking $40 an hour, $50 an hour, pretty much. But now, like all these other kids, like my daughter and my son's generation, they don't get that. They're not gonna get all that shit.
Yeah, and that's because we turn towards this like common core education stuff where it's more about being able to pass the test than it is actually learning stuff.
Yeah,
Because like all you have to do is like remember it and regurgitate it. That's not really learning anything.
no. And like how, hey, so when you're in high school, was Spanish too a requirement to graduate?
You had to take some kind of language class. You had to take 2 years of it.
That's weird, man. Because my son, he's required to take Spanish too in order to graduate, and I'm like, dude, I don't remember that. I don't remember that being in the because I took Spanish one, but after that I said fuck this because I failed it.
Yeah.
But man, like all of a sudden, like my kid has to know Spanish too, and it's even Spanish that
Well,
he's never going to use because first of all he doesn't know Spanish, and if he's going to learn Spanish, he's going to learn slang because I don't speak proper Spanish. Like he's not going to go out in the world and be like, perdóname señora, ¿me puedes alocar el dirección para ir? No, like no, like the way I fucking say, mira vos, dame la dirección a la tienda. Like we're fucking like lazy Spanish. You know what I mean? Like is not all Spanish is like that. Like there's Mexican Spanish, there's Spain's Spanish, European Spanish, and then there's like Salvi Spanish. And I think Salvadorian Spanish is like lazy fucking Spanish. They always drag their words like mira, like but yeah, I'm thinking like, man, when like I mean, it is good to learn Spanish because like out in California, you got to learn it because there's a lot of Hispanics out here. But to tell somebody they can't graduate because they don't know they didn't go through Spanish too, it's kind of stupid. Because what if in his career it doesn't require him, you know?
well, I was gonna say, did he take Spanish one already?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so
And
then he has to take Spanish two because you have to take at least two Spanish
2 years.
classes or at least
Yeah.
2 years of a language. Like our
Mm-hmm.
school, I think had German and something else, but then um, by the time I was a senior, like all the other language classes were just defunct because no one took them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and I just took, I think I took 3 years of Spanish. I didn't learn shit. So
Yeah, I didn't. The only Spanish I know is the one, from like families and shit. I don't think I ever needed that shit. And from fucking ghosts. Only Hispanic ghosts have haunted my life.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, I had something crazy happen to me a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh, are we gonna get into some story time?
Yeah, let's do it. It's a quick little story, but it's something to mention because it was kind of weird. It was kind of fucking weird. So here, I'll give it a second for the music to kick in. I'm just imagining it. There we go. Scary music. So, I was telling you, I've been doing these jobs for Spectrum. We've been switching over, not services, but pretty much we're swapping out chassis, like splitter chassis, because they don't want to use a certain connector anymore. So we go in, and we go in like at 10 o'clock to these job sites, and at and we kind of like prep up, and at 12 we start unplugging shit, and we start cutting services, and we start disconnecting the splitters, swapping out the chassis, and we're cutting these cables, and we're putting F connectors, basically, which is like the standard connector that you use to plug into the back of your TV, or what do they call it, RF connectors is what they call it.
Yeah.
So it's basically the little boom, you screw it on, bam, there you go. So I was working out in Palmdale, right? Have you ever worked in Palmdale with me? Did we ever go there?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, that little site. So in that site, there used to be a hub tech named Oscar. Really cool guy, really fucking nice guy, an older Salvadorian gentleman, and he goes way back with my dad too. He used to work with my dad like back in their contracting days, and really cool guy. Like every time I saw the guy, he was very humble. He was very very chill about everything. He always talked about El Salvador. Like, remember, did you ever go here? Did you ever go there? He goes, I have family over here. Do you know these people? Like, because it's almost like everybody knows everybody from El Salvador. So a few years of working in that site, and this was like right after you left too. Like it was like 2 or 3 years after you left.
Hmm.
He passed away
Hmm.
of a heart attack, I think it was. And it was kind of sad, man, because I liked the guy. Like that guy fucking loved my dad. Like he was always good friends with my dad. It was kind of sad to see him go. He was a really cool guy. And I think it was about a year after they buried him. I was talking to one of the other techs at Palmdale, and I was telling him like, hey man, because I remember one day working there, and I got this weird fucking vibe. I got this weird vibe being in that hub. And I was telling the tech, I'm like, hey man, is there fucking like, do you get weird vibes here? He goes, oh, it's Oscar.
Huh.
And I go, what? He goes, oh, I've seen him. And I'm like, are you going crazy? He goes, no man, like I seriously see him. Like every once in a while, when I'm doing a troubleshoot, I see him, because that's what Oscar did. He'll go into the hub and troubleshoot nodes that are bad.
Hmm.
Like if a node goes out, like he goes in there and he's looking through the fibers, through the transmitters and shit like that, and he'll call out to the field, right? But now that he passed away, this other guy's doing. He goes, man, every time I have to do a troubleshoot, like I always get like this weird chill in the air, and I'll look behind me, and I'll get a good glance at him before he walks away into one of the rows.
Dang.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, man. I said, that's what it is. That has to be it, because every time I go there, I get a weird fucking vibe. Like somebody's there. Like if I'm there by myself, I feel like somebody's there. Like I don't ever feel alone. So so years go by, and then just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, we're doing this, the CCAP job, and boom, they tell us, all right, it's midnight, you can start cutting service, go for it. So I'm there cutting fittings and shit, and I get that fucking familiar vibe again, and I go, fuck, Oscar's here. Like that's what I always kept telling myself, like Oscar's here, like Oscar's here. He's probably just watching over us, doing his thing, troubleshooting with us, whatever.
Yeah.
And my cousin and another coworker was there with me, right? It was like three of us working there. And my cousin just, he's looking at me like, I didn't realize I was making this weird face, because I kept looking back. But he said I was making this weird fucking face, and then he goes, hey, are you all right, dude? And I'm like, oh, what happened? He's like, dude, you keep like looking off to the distance, like you're just looking at something. And I go, no, I'm just looking out, dude. I'm just looking out. And then, dude, when I said that, I look up, because we're in one of the rows, and I look forward, right? And I fucking see him, dude.
Damn.
I see him just walk by. Like I see like the back of his head going, into one of the rows. And I just stopped, and I'm like, oh my God, there he is. And I know it was Oscar, because Oscar has like jet black hair, and he's only like 5 foot tall. He's like kind of like a short guy.
Hmm.
And I saw him walk by, and I'm like, oh, there he is. I saw him finally. And then my cousin's all like, what the fuck are you looking at? It's like, I was like, dude, I said, don't be alarmed, dude, but there's spirits in here, dude. And he just got up and walked out. He's like, fuck this. He came back. He's like, are you all right, dude? Are you fucking smoking? Did you smoke? And I said, no, I'm not high, dude. I'm just Like I feel Oscar here. Like I feel him, and he doesn't know who Oscar is because my cousin just came in. Like he's been with us probably for like maybe 3 years now, 3 or 4 years, and he's like tripping. He's like, well, who the fuck is Oscar? He's like, he's one of the techs that used to work here. One of the techs that used to work. He used to troubleshoot for the nodes, and he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, whatever. Like this dude's starting to freak me out. And then right when that conversation ended, and we're like ready, to go home and stuff, and I started getting like my tools together. I fucking kid you not. I saw his shoe, like his foot, like right next to me, dude.
Huh.
Like I was like, no homo. I was on my knees picking up my tools from the floor, and I saw somebody's shoe next to me. And I thought it was at first I thought it was my cousin, but my cousin doesn't wear dress shoes to work. Like he just wears like sneakers and shit.
Huh.
And Oscar used to have these he used to come in with like they were like work attire shoe like boots, but they look pretty good. They look like regular like dress shoes. And I saw it from the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh my god, he's like fucking right over me. And I look over, dude, and it's gone.
Hmm.
It's gone. I'm like, fuck. I said, I'm out of here. See ya. I fucking jet out of there. So yeah, that happened recently, man. That's like the first time in a while that something's happened to me out here in the U.S. And it was Oscar, man, my buddy Oscar. God rest his soul.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
crazy.
yeah, nothing demonic, nothing crazy, because he was like a very peaceful man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was always at peace with everything, so he wasn't there to fucking freak me out. But it is kind of like scary that he was his apparition was there, like he was making himself visible left and right. And yeah, Palmdale is haunted, and I won't be going back there for a while.
Well, I mean, I remember like weird stuff like that too, but I never understood. I could never figure out if it was I was seeing somebody like get up and walk out of like the building, or if it was just like my imagination, or if I was just seeing somebody walk by, like because you're just sitting there and it's super quiet, and it's just like the hum of the air conditioners, and you're just cutting cables and you're putting them in, and then out the corner of your eye you just see something kind of like walk by, and you're like,
Yeah,
okay, well I know somebody else is working on my right side, like 2 rows down. Maybe they just came over to check on me real quick. But I mean, it's gotten to a point where I'm like, hey, what's up? I look over and then I don't see nobody, and I'm like, what?
shadow people, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Shadow people. Our
Actually,
our eyes our eyes don't calibrate when we're looking straight forward, but I maybe in the corner of our eye has like the most, you know, wherewithal for calibration and shit. I don't know. Like it's weird because I get that sometimes even in my own home. Like I'll be sitting here playing on the computer and I'll feel like something's like in the corner, like I see somebody walking in the corner of my eye and there's nobody there. And I just think it's the shadow people
mm,
pretty much.
I got a pretty good story about shadow people, but man, we're already hitting like the 135 mark.
Damn, that we feel yeah. I
We
don't
talked a
even know.
lot of bullshit this
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, like I said, that's the beauty of podcasting, man. We're like wine. We get better with age.
We should just do like a Twitch thing. We just talk the whole time.
Damn, 5 hour
Yeah, like
fucking
5 hours.
Twitchathon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 5 hours.
Dude,
We
I'll
just
fucking be
talk about
dead by
nothing.
5 hours. Dude, I'll be like, "Ugh." What
I'm
we
gonna
should do
throw
is
be all
take
sore.
we should take like 100 milligrams of fucking edibles and see where it goes.
Eee. I can't get that out
Damn.
here. This
No,
is
you
this is a
can't.
dry state, sir.
Can you get CBD? Oh no, but still
I mean, I got CBD oil, but
CBD, but it's not. There's no THC in it.
yeah.
Man, you should start looking for a plug out there.
What's a plug?
Somebody that has the supplies.
Oh, nah. I don't want to get into that shit.
Or fuck it, I'll fucking ship it to you, man. I'll
Yeah, that's
ship it
gonna
with the
work.
Mac.
Yeah, 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 that'll work. Pretty sure the drug sniffing dogs at UPS or whatever won't find it.
Fuck. Yeah, no. You know what I can do though? I mean, like my brother's done it before. He shipped his weed over to Colorado, and he had like a fucking quarter, like he had like a quarter. What is that? Quarter ounce?
Yeah, but you're going from California to Colorado. I mean, I don't think there's.
I
They're
don't
not
think
gonna.
they'll trip on that.
Yeah, they won't trip on it.
It's almost like I would have to drive down there with like 2 pounds of fucking weed in my trunk just to give it to you without getting caught.
Yeah, and then there's like 20 states you're gonna drive through where weed is still a fucking life sentence. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't. I wouldn't
that's
do it.
fucking dumb, dude. America needs to just fucking let it go, man.
I'm really hoping that that's gonna be. I mean, supposedly it was gonna be like on the 2020 ticket. It was gonna be legalizing marijuana like federally.
Yeah, the
But I mean,
federal. Yeah, I heard
but then
federally.
it's still up to the states if they want to do it or not. But
Yeah,
like
but
how
at
they want to
least
regulate it.
at
But
least decriminalize fucking weed, man, because it's just
right,
weed.
right.
It's
But I
not like
mean,
I'm giving people meth or fucking
yeah,
crack or ecstasy. Yeah, like for chemical based fucking drugs, yeah, put a harsh punishment on that because that shit actually kills people. Go after the shit that actually kills people. They're like weed and magic mushrooms. What the fuck? Like Oakland just decriminalized magic mushrooms.
yeah. But still, that stuff can still get people killed though.
I mean, yeah, if you're not doing it safely, then yeah, you could hurt yourself. I mean, if you're in the privacy of your own home, and you want to eat like two or three mushrooms, I mean, you're good. You're good, honestly, because I've seen people, dude. I used to work with people in New York that used to eat mushrooms, and they're like the most functional person in the world, dude. The most functional people in the world. Like this one dude that drove one of the fucking semi trucks with asphalt. That dude couldn't work without being fucking high on shrooms.
Hmm.
And he was just like a normal fucking person. I think what it was too, he had a bad back surgery,
Huh.
and I think that's how he dealt with it. Like either shrooms or marijuana. Like that's the only way he can cope with life because like he couldn't afford going back to a doctor to fix his back. You know. So he said he ate like three or four mushrooms and he went about his day like normal.
Well,
It
I
was
mean,
just
some
pretty much like
people,
a pain reliever.
yeah, some people can do that. That's fine. But I mean, if you all of a sudden one day you're like, oh yeah, let's legalize, mushrooms, and then they're selling them, and people are just chucking them in their mouth, and you jump in a car and driving, and next thing you know,
Well
They're playing
then
Donkey Kong on the fucking freeway. You know what I mean?
then that's weeding out the idiots.
Yeah.
you
But then
know
there's a lot of innocent people though that can get hurt.
yeah, they
That's the
get in
point.
the way of that, and then yeah, like
Yeah.
you can be like the dude's high on shrooms, and yeah, he'll go end up killing himself, but he'll probably kill three other people in the process of that too. So yeah, there's a thin boundary with that. There's like a little thin line between that because I think yeah, like don't like decriminalize weed first of all, just stop America. And it's just a bunch of old dudes in Congress like, nope, we got to keep that shit illegal. Like they still think they're in the Nixon era.
Mm, I guess. I mean, it's still like a. I mean, because you are opening the floodgate to other bad worse stuff. The next thing you know, it's like, oh yeah, let's we should legalize crack cocaine because you know because crackheads it'd be easier for crackheads and they don't have to suck so much dick and it'll make the prices go lower. You know, because
Yeah,
anything
I
can be
mean,
said about anything. Like cigarettes,
yeah,
alcohol, marijuana.
cigarettes is the gateway, but but I mean, yeah, it depends on the person too. It depends on the person because there's people out there that have addictive personalities and they try weed and they're like, oh, I like this fucking high, and then they start thinking like, I don't know because I've been only I can't say I can addicted to weed. Can one person be addicted to weed?
I mean, I think so. I think you just get so used to like wanting to like
Yeah.
numb the pain of your life that you just once you're off of it, you start exhibiting addictive patterns and stuff.
Yeah. You see, with me, I just can't sleep at night, especially now that I'm working this fucking these hours. From 10 p.m. to like 6 a.m. Like when I come home, like I either if I have time, I'll smoke a bowl or I'll pop like a couple of edibles and then go to sleep right away because that CPAP machine that I have
Hmm.
um it makes me claustrophobic.
Ooh, I still want to get a CPAP machine. Not,
Um,
I don't need it, but I've heard just like having
oh,
one
you,
and
yeah, your
using it is
sleep
supposed
is
to be
way
like
better.
way better. Yeah.
Yeah, your sleep is way better, but you become dependent on it. Like I've lost a lot of weight, and I know I still need to lose more. But people, like doctors always tell you, like, oh, lose a shit ton of weight, and you'll be able to sleep without the machine. Like I feel like in this point in my life, I've been so reliant on that machine. I don't think I can get rid of it, even if I don't have sleep apnea.
Well, I mean, once you like like once you lose enough weight or once your sleeping habits are better, then you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, but I always feel like without it, I can't sleep. And with it, I get like my anxieties kick up at night. Like I start like shaking my legs, and I get like antsy, and like I start panicking. Like literally, I have air being pumped into my mouth, but at the same time, I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Because my claustrophobia kicks in.
Damn,
So
you're addicted to your CPAP machine.
yeah, fuck. Now fucking, I'm going to jail for that now.
Exactly.
Huh?
Give me some of that
Decriminalize
good
CPAP.
air. Yeah. Keep your
So
government hands off my CPAP machine.
yeah, so when I come home from work now, like I have to, like I'll smoke a couple of bowls, or I'll just pop like 20 milligrams of an edible gummy, and that shit kicks in real quick. I'm able to just sleep like a fucking baby, or else I'll be up until I won't go to sleep until 10 in the morning, and then I only get 2 hours of sleep because my body won't, for some reason my body has to wake up at 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, what can we do? You win some, you lose some. You get touched in the ass by a fucking mascot at a high school. It all goes down from there, man.
Then you're
Or it
breathing
all
out of
goes up
now.
depending on
Then
how.
you're snorting air out of a machine.
Damn. Next thing you know, you're snorting air out of a goat's ass, and who knows, dude? Bill Clinton could be Satan for all we know.
Probably.
I don't know. I'm just going off into different things.
Yeah. I
So
think
I
I'm
guess.
gonna end the scary music now.
Damn, the scary music was going on the whole time we're talking about decriminalizing marijuana.
Yeah. Because it's
The
scary to
CPAP
talk about.
machines. Fuck. So I guess that's it for this one.
Yeah, yeah. We rambled
We can
on
end it
pretty good.
here.
I think I'm
Here,
gonna
you know
call
what?
this the Rambler the Gambler episode.
Mm, yeah. Here, look. On this episode, you're gonna fucking close out. All right, I'm done talking. Fuck off.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Follow us on Twitter. If you noticed, I'm getting really into NASA space lately, and I'm going to talk about that probably next time as well. I think we'll probably do another episode sooner than later, huh? Because we kind of like lagged it a couple days. I'd like to like
Yeah, yeah. This schedule's
play some
been
kind
kind
of
of like weird.
yeah, I'd like to play some kind of catch up or something. See if we can do like two more episodes this week, or at least this
Yeah,
weekend or
we
something.
can pump out another episode for this week just to make up.
Yeah. So follow us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter at Bunk Buddy Theories. Um, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Good night.
But what if
Sounding
it's
out.
good morning? But what if it's good morning though?
Peace out.
Damn. All right.
Avita Singh.
Late. Avidaze.
Bye. Yeah.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Yeah. Whatever he said.